Welcome to a very special edition of the SBK betting podcast, a video podcast because we are talking about one race and one race only. Yes, the SBK Clarence House Chase of 2022, the race where two horses undefeated over fences finally clash for us grateful racing fans to see. And we're going to go through exactly what we saw with some of the most pivotal moments from this race. Right, we need to talk about the lineup, Tom, because this is a really important aspect of the race. It really set up exactly how the race would develop and plan out. We were talking about tactics, and Paul Townend on Energumene, he goes off in pursuit of the lead, which is crucial as he gets into such a great rhythm early on. And David Bass just elects just to keep creeping behind, sort of irritating Nico de Boinville and Shishkin.
Yeah, last year, First Flow took on Politolov from an early stage, and we were kind of anticipating the same this year, maybe a battle up front between First Flow and Energumene. But Paul Townend had his eyes set on the front, and he went straight out. First Flow gave him an easy lead, which was crucial to Paul Townend's chances. They went hard early, but not too hard. I think Paul Townend got into a nice rhythm, and that kind of put Shishkin off his stride. He was taken off on the wrong lead over the first couple of fences, a few ponderous jumps as well, and that put him on the back foot. Maybe Nico de Boinville didn't want to be that wide in the race, but it was an interesting start to the Clarence House Chase.
So we got to round about the fifth fence here, Tom. And again, Shishkin is just slightly out to his left and not as good as Energumene. And this is when you start to see a Moula Gold drop out, getting a bit outpaced. And then what happens next?
Yeah, so Shishkin was jumping out to his left and Energumene dead against the rail, jumping like a gun barrel, dead straight, perfect to Paul Townend. And then we get to the sixth fence. Shishkin approaches it on the wrong lead again, and he actually jumps really nicely, but a terrible stumble after the fence. That could have been writing on the wall, but this is Shishkin, remember.
Right, we're getting into the real meat of the race now, and Shishkin is jumping a little to the left, generally better, but First Flow is also jumping well too, and he's just annoying Nico de Boinville and Shishkin, and it gets to the point of this ninth fence, Tom, and this is when it gets interesting.
Yeah, Shishkin just loses a length over the ninth fence, and Nico de Boinville gets after him a little bit. All eyes are on Energumene at this point. He's travelling beautifully out in front. He's in a perfect rhythm, and he jumped the 10th beautifully as well. First Flow, as you said, just in between Shishkin and Energumene, and now starts to come off the bridle, heading towards the last fence before the home turn.
Yeah, and this is where you see First Flow just can't go with the two lead horses. They are really going at fast speed. Nico de Boinville's really hurrying Shishkin to get into the race. Energumene just travelling beautifully. And it's here, Tom, that you'd imagine that the price of Shishkin in running is going a lot bigger than Energumene.
Yeah, he went out to 6-1 in running. Energumene still travelling beautifully at this point as he jumps two out in the lead. He's got a 3-length advantage. Nico de Boinville found a perfect stride for Shishkin over the second last. But at this point, the writing looks on the wall. Is Energumene going to win, or is Shishkin going to rally?
We talked about this. Shishkin is a battle-hardened type of horse, and suddenly everything changes at the final fence.
Yeah, Nico de Boinville finds a great stride, issues one reminder, and Shishkin's cadence just rapidly increases. As soon as he draws alongside Energumene, that was game over. He was hitting that line powerfully, and he goes on to eventually win by around a length.
Yeah, and I can imagine the absolute roars from the crowd. What we've just seen, two absolutely fantastic racehorses, giving it them all credit to Energumene because he had the race of his life, and Paul Townend, you can see in how he went and congratulated Nico. He knew that these two horses just gave it their all.
Yeah, the crowd went wild, Jess. It was nuts at Ascot. The papers up in the air, beers going everywhere, punters hugging each other. I've never seen scenes like it outside the Cheltenham Festival. It was fantastic.
And what was so brilliant is that both Willie Mullins and Nicky Henderson pretty much very quickly after the race, we're talking about round two, this fantastic round two that we're going to get at Cheltenham. Now, SBK have odds for the champion chase, Shishkin at even money and Energumene at 3-1. What do you think we might see come Cheltenham? Will it be a better Shishkin, or can Energumene turn the tables?
I think this was the time for Energumene to beat Shishkin. Everything went his way out in front. He jumped brilliantly, as I've mentioned. He wasn't taken on for the lead, and Shishkin still ran him down. Both horses, full credit to them. They ran to marks in the 180s. Two brilliant 2-mile chasers. But Cheltenham's going to suit Shishkin more than Energumene. The left-handed track, the uphill finish. I think Shishkin will confirm the form. And around even money, I think he's a decent bet.
Yeah, look, he's back in Shishkin's playground. He's won there twice before. What I would love to see is more clashes between Shishkin and Energumene. Shishkin, come to Ireland, come to Punchestown. That would be fun.